Hi, I'm Kelly.
I'm Rich.
And we are One of Us Adventures. Welcome to our channel, welcome back if you are new. And today we are going to be fitting our water heater.
So we've gone for the iMass Instantaneous water heater for a number of reasons. So first and foremost, it gives you instant hot water, which is good because you can use as much hot water as you want. It's obviously bad because you can use as much hot water as you want, but one of the main reasons why we wanted to do it is because with our setup, which we'll show in future videos, we're going to have multiple ways of getting water and using fresh water. So having this as basically on demand hot water will be a good thing for us. In today's video, we're going to show you the main steps of how we installed the heater, which in a nutshell includes measuring a lot,
Cutting out some holes
carefully, treating said holes, installing the heater, and then sealing the heater up. It sounds quite straightforward and simple, but we've got some tips and tricks of how we made sure we got it in the right place and how we got the hole accurate, and we'll show you the install right at the end of how all of that looks.
And when you're doing a bus conversion, nothing is ever simple. Everything takes twice as long as you think it's going to as well.
So yeah, our bus is slanty, our bus is like wonky, and we've had to overcome all of that. So that's what we'll show you today. Hope you enjoy. Leave your comments down below. In this box is our new iMass Instantaneous water heater. I'm gonna get out, see what comes in the kit, and then get it fitted up.
It's like a box within a box within a box.
Yeah.
Dude, careful, it's got pokey out bits on the bottom.
Remembering. Cool, okay.
Is that it?
And the control panel, the little thing in the olive for the gas. That's it. So that's what comes in the box. That's the control cable that will then go to the control panel. It goes in the van. And you've got hot water out, and you've got gas in, and you've got the cold water in.
Cool.
And power. We're inside today because it's like really windy and raining out.
It's horrible. We're just trying to get some of our other bits and pieces done. Our step number one was to create a template so we could see exactly where we wanted to put it on the bus.
Here's the template. I've calculated that, so this is 33 by 33 as per the instructions. I've calculated that the hatch front and the heater itself is 36, and so this is 36.5 centimeters from end to end square, and the front panel is about 37. So I needed to make sure when I put this on the front of the bus that there's plenty of clearance for that as well. So it's not just about the hole, it's about this that's going to go on the front face of the bus, and then the panel that goes on the front too. So I'm going to go and tape that on now and see how that looks. This is roughly the position where we're going to put our heater. As you can see from the template, we're going to want to sit it ever so slightly higher than there, so it comes in line with the floor. Right, what I've done is cut a piece of scrap ply and put that in there. You can see that sits maybe 1-2 mil proud of the floor that's behind it. What I'm going to do is use this scrap piece here as a flat edge to create my two bottom holes for my bottom line, and I can go on to the outside of the bus and measure and make sure I'm happy with it being square. Well, my calculation, this is roughly where it will go. So you can see that it will overlap this flange in the bodywork here, so we'll see how much that affects mounting of it, but we should be able to fill the gap either with a gasket or some of that beautiful tape. If we need something more substantial, I'll make it, but we'll know when the cutout has been made. That's where it's going to go, leaving a couple of centimetres at the bottom there, so the lid can basically end where that lip is, and obviously it'll be a couple of centimetres higher on the top and the sides too. So if your van's like the Mercedes Vario, you will know that it tapers in and it's difficult to measure. So this stage here, take your time with it, is what I found. So what I did is I used my angle square to create a perfect square, and then I measured from corner to corner to make sure it was square, and I took various other measurements and just really took my time to make sure that it was in the right place. The old adage of measure twice, cut once really does ring true. And now it starts raining, so that stops that for the time being. Good old British weather. But we are measured up. Hopefully it doesn't rain too hard and wash all that away. What I've done is measured 33 by 33 square. I've taken datums off of this to make sure it's kind of even with this, and then I've measured from here to here and here to here diagonally to make sure they're the same. On the 33 centimetre square, the diagonal should be 46.6 roughly, a little bit more than that. So you should have the same distance from here to here and here to here to know that you've got a perfect square. I'm going to drill through the corners now, just so we can see that it's going to sit right inside the bus as well. So we've already done the bottom two from the inside out to get that bottom line. I'm going to drill the top two, and just they should come through in the middle of that reinforcement bar that I showed you earlier, but we'll have a look. Yeah, you can see that holes have come through in the centre of that reinforcement bar where we were expecting them, so that's good news. Means we can cut through that in a minute once it stops raining. There's a number of ways that you could cut your hole for the iMass. I decided to use an angle grinder because the panels on my bus are quite thick, and I used a 1mm disc to just cut through both skins of the vehicle and the back piece. Just taking my time really, so make sure you've got the handle on, make sure you've got the guard on, make sure the disc is new, and then it was fairly straightforward. You know, you might choose to use a metal bit in your jigsaw, that will also probably work fine, or some people even use air nibblers to do this sort of work, but this is how I did it, and it worked all right. So I marked it out, took my time, did the sides first, and then moved on to the bottom, and then finally along the top. Cutting the sides was similar sort of story. This little bit along the top was a little bit trickier because it sort of juts out, but you know, I just took my time with it, didn't force or use too much pressure, and again it cut through in a nice straight line without too much trouble. Check nothing's on fire in the bus. We're all good, no fire, let's crack on. Getting up close and personal with the grinder was a little bit nerve-wracking, but it was the only way that I could really see what was going on. I just made sure I took a nice wide stance, or you know, spread my body weight sort of evenly. It sounds daft, but I just found it useful to be able to do that, and by the end of it I did end up with a really nice even square. Okay, so the hole's cut. We'll try and fit it now, see if it needs any more shaving off. I'm going to go fetch the heater now, see if it fits. No, I'm not. First of all, I need to cut finish cutting the piece off from the inside. Now that is perfectly 33 centimeters. It should fit. So I'm going to get it and try it out. Trial fit it. Oh my god, it fits. The gap, you can see there is a gap here, but I can feel that with that butyl tape. I'm quite happy with that actually. Nice snug fit. It's not moving anywhere. I'm going to go and see how it sits in the van now, inside, and then I can take it back out, clean up all of the edging, and give it a coat of Hammerite. Nice and snug in the hole. That's not going to move anywhere. Might mark up where those holes are going to be drilled through now actually, drill them, and then I can paint that up at the same time whilst that tape's on there. Yeah, let's do that. That's a good idea. Comments down below if you think that's a good idea.
Look at Daddy.
Got my trusty red oxide rust encapsulator paint here and my Hammerite direct to metal paint. Now I could just use this, lots of people do, with absolutely no fear of fallback, but this stuff here, I've got some of it left over. It takes like 15 minutes to dry, so we put a coat of that on. It works fine with the Hammerite. So yeah, I'm going to put a coat of that on, cut that on, let it dry, and then get it fitted up. And the sun's come out now as well, so what do you do? This stuff, I bought 5 litres of it and I thought it was mad, but it's like so useful for all jobs. So this is slow drying panel wipe, and you use it basically to prep surfaces. So I'm going to just clean off all around the edges now before I move on to the next step, because I don't want there to be any contaminants or anything on here. But this is good for like all sorts of stuff, like removing glue, removing basically anything from the surface of paint before you paint or before you do anything else to it, like use the mastic tape. So yeah, I'm just gonna clean the face of the bus off. You can see that there's quite a lot of crud on here from previous jobs and what I've just done, so I'm just gonna rub it down now. You can see that it takes all of this guff away, which is important because we want it to be nice and clean, so we've got a perfectly clean surface to bond to. So you will notice that there's sort of rust spots and stuff all over the bus. That's just really naughty on our part, not cleaning off fallout. Thankfully this will come out and I'm going to do another video of fallout removal, but would really don't do what we did, don't do what Donnie didn't do. Clean it off as you go. The problem we had is we did all of that body work and then basically rained straight for like weeks and weeks and weeks, so we didn't really have a chance to get out here in between and clean it all off, but we really should have. As you can see, where I've just cleaned off around here, it will come off. I'm just going to need to get a clay bar and some iron out, and that will come off, but that's one for a future video. Okay, I've got my trusty butyl tape here, my mastic tape, sorry. This is 19mm, so what I'm going to do is run one all the way around, so 4 pieces all the way around. And then I'm going to put some pieces on the back face of the heater itself and then install it in here. So yeah, I'm going to stick this on here. This stuff is it's a bit like plasticine, so it goes on and it never actually sets. So when we screw it in here and it tightens it up, it creates a watertight seal that then I can then sealant all the way around the edge as well once this has been installed, just to make sure that no water can get into the bus from around the edge of the heater. Right, I'm just going to put another couple of layers of tape on there, same on the other side. You can see here on the case of the heater, I've just added a bit where that gap is, and then when I tighten the screws up, that will all squash out to fill that gap. Screws need to be tightened in a specific order, so you do the middle ones, top and bottom, left and right first, then you do the opposite sort of corners to make sure you get an even spread of pressure, and what you'll find then is all that butyl tape will sort of squeeze out the sides and you get a nice tight secure seal. Once I tightened all of the screws up, I ran a bead of sealant all the way around the edge on the outside, a really fat bead, and then did the same on the inside just to make sure that it was fully watertight. We're down to final sort of fit and finish now with the insulation. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some of that sound deadening. So we pre-cut some panels actually the other week ready to use for this. So I'm just going to pop a few on here and then roll them down just to make these panels dead. And then finally we're going to be insulating over this with that 50mm foam insulation board that we've used on the rest of the board.
What are you up to, Rich?
Trying to cut this 50mm board to fit around that heater and that diesel inlet. So I've measured it all and I've chopped it out with my knife. I'm going to see if it will fit. Lots of trims though required here. Sick of flip my iMass. Well. I don't know if this will fit yet, but it's better
for it to be a bit too small those couple of times. Oh, I don't know, I think it's there. Oh, what was that? It's okay, it was just that
trimming off the bottom there. That's pretty good. That's not bad.
That's good.
I'll trim that bit off there and then we can push that in and then we'll fill that gap around with the ball.
Yay!
This was quite expensive for a knife, I think. So this was £7 from Amazon, and it's basically just a long Stanley knife. It looks like terrifying, and it probably is. But with this, you can score this thick board, but then cut all the way through it, which I found much better than snapping the board. So with this thicker stuff, like I've tried a saw, which kind of worked, but it left a rough edge. I've tried just a normal Stanley blade, scoring it and then snapping it, which again worked, but you kind of got uneven. Whereas this, I would recommend.
Ooh.
I wish I had it from the start. Back on the outside, here's that fat bead of sealant that I told you about. So I taped that up, ran it all the way around, and now it's set nice and sealed. This is basically the install done on the outside now. Obviously I need to put the cover back on. Comes with a couple of keys to keep it locked and safe, and I'll be winterizing it in the very near future. But let's go have a look at what's on the inside of the bus. You can see that it sits nice and snugly now. I've cut the insulation around it, and all I'm going to do now is, so you can see there at the bottom, comes in at an angle on our van. So what I'm going to do is make a box to surround that, because it doesn't need any air gap around it as per the instructions. I'm going to make a box to support that out of some plywood, and then jobs are good in. So I'm going to leave the back of it open, but everything else will be boxed in. So in future videos we'll hook that up to the gas. We're going to be getting a plumber out to check all that out, so we'll run the pipe and then have the plumber, the gas safe plumber, hook all of that up when they come out to do that at a later date. Make sure it's all safe. Same with the LPG tank that's underneath the bus. And our cooker, which will be going in, we think, over this side, but potentially this side, all at the same time.
And party every day.
More on that in a minute.
So that was the installation of the water heater. We also have some ideas how we are going to winterize it. Rich will tell you about it. It's something to do with some pipe.
Basically, inside the iMass, it is like a little mini boiler. And if you don't winterize them, so that they say to drain them down if they're not in use, which obviously we'll make sure that that is included on the back. But we want to ensure if we are using it in a cold climate that it won't freeze up. So I've got some ideas of how we're going to do that, and I'll show you in a future video of how we're going to set that up, along with when it's commissioned by the plumber. And that's about it for this week. Do take care. Thanks for watching, and please leave your comments down below.
Thank you.
Okay, so those of you who've been wondering perhaps where Lily has been, she's been here the whole time. She wants to say hi.
Hi guys.
And now we're all going to say bye.
1, 2, 3.
Bye!
Enough of you, baby. Can you get enough of me? Is that what you were singing? What kiss song were you singing then?
I was in.
Ah, yeah. Gonna rock and roll all night.
And party every day.
Why?
Go on then. Go and sing it.
His favourite type of music.
I don't know, Lily. What is it? Pardon?
Hip hop.
Yeah!